Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Eye of the Centaur for your sign. I'm Eric Francis Coppolino, your friendly neighborhood astrologer here with your reading for Virgo, a Virgo rising, possibly Chiron in Virgo. That would be good if you tune into that. I want to just break down the basics of what is going on in the spring of 2024. And the very interesting ways that these events influence and impact Virgo. And most of that happens because the two planets most closely associated with Virgo, Mercury and Chiron, I don't have a Chiron glyph, are in Aries. And so the power center of the events of the spring of 2024 is in Aries, and both of your ruling planets are in Aries. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Get it right eventually. This is the concentration of energy. It is actually one of several concentrations of energy. The first one being in Pisces, your opposite sign. The next one, that's also in Pisces. Then the next being in Aries, which is a very important place where you strive to self-actualize and also encounter people in relationships. And then the Uranus Jupiter conjunction in the ninth, followed by Sedna and Jupiter in the 10th. But this big cluster here, this big bunch of stuff fits in this little teeny wedge of your chart, that being your 8th house. And I have, did you hear that car go by? This is why I'm so thrilled about annual vehicle inspections. I don't think that that would help him though. Okay, so the 8th house, jump right into the 8th here, and then I'll take the signs one at a time. The 7th is relationships, and the 8th is how does this work? The 7th is relationships. The 8th is the consummation of relationships with either money, sex, or both. So relationships go from a kind of an informal arrangement in the 7th house into a more formalized, structured, consummated format in the 8th house. A lot of bonding goes on in the 8th house. And you have Aries on the 8th house. So in the 8th house, in your solar chart and by whole signs, if you're Aries rising, Virgo rising, I'll get it right eventually today. And there's an inherent contradiction here. And I talk about this in every Aries reading. The inherent contradiction is that Aries seeks to self-actualize, but you expressing yourself through this process of self-actualization need involvement, meaning deep involvement with other people. But this involvement has a way of outgrowing its purpose, outgrowing its use. And so your relationships may work to help you self-actualize and find yourself for a while, and then you tend to outgrow them, and then there has to be a shift, and it's a little bit like a snake-like thing where you have to keep growing through various, you have to go through molting phases in your relationships. And this became very, very restless for you when Uranus entered Aries. Not quite sure exactly what year that was, but it was around 2011. And then it became almost unbearable when Chiron entered Aries in 2018, just as Uranus was leaving. And I think that it is likely that relationship events around 1819 serve to teach you that you must be a whole person regardless of your relationship status, and that other people are not a suitable format for you to do too much of your finding yourself, but they're a great place to bring yourself once you have found yourself. And this whole experience is, I think, one of the most essential human dramas, because we're constantly seeking completion in other people. Almost everyone, to some degree, is seeking completion in someone else. And a similar thing happens sometimes. But with you, you're so determined to be your individual self. At the same time, you're so determined to encounter people in a deep and meaningful way, to be in relationship experiences that you identify with profoundly, and then the two work as kind of a yin yang of oppositions that have created what may be a somewhat unstable state of your partnerships. Okay, so we get Chiron into the act in 2018, and this does what Chiron almost always does, which is that it calls attention to the situation. It calls attention to your need to address the matter of what it means to bond with someone, grow into that, then outgrow that, but still want relationships to in some way be stable. There's a shift in attenuation toward others that needs to happen in order for you to have the stability of your genuine self-actualizing, self-becoming, growing person that you are in relationship to others, but without having to rapidly outgrow the relationship in the process. All right. So now this whole area of your life where there's these deep experiences of pair bonding comes under more transit experience than you may have ever had all at once, which is, this is going on here. And then this is what happens. And what happens is that there's a couple of things. It's easy to sort this out. It doesn't look as hard as it seems. There's an exact conjunction of the moon, the sun, and Chiron exactly together. So if we are to take Chiron as, and I talk about this in the Chiron stage of the project. If you go back to the Chiron in Virgo chapter, which you may not have Chiron in Virgo, but I discuss it there and in Sagittarius. That the moon and the sun are joining in a kind of a symbol of pair bonding, unity, collaboration with Chiron, a planet that represents your quest for healing and for wholeness. So what this to me represents, plain and simple, is the potential for a relationship experience to go through a very rapid transformation, and that means a partner also going through a very rapid transformation that you may or may not be ready for. And because this eclipse is going to sneak up on us all at once, I mean, it's only about a month out right now. You need to be ready for possible developments. And the thing about those possible developments is they're going to start with you. They're going to emerge from inside you, quite potentially as a discovery that you make about yourself. The discovery that you make about yourself is symbolized by Mercury, the classical ruling planet of Virgo, conjunct Eris. Now, by the way, I don't think any of this is causing anything. I just think this is a very fancy spiritual and psychological clock